Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va?
Rentre. Tu veux un café?
Why not? Grab coffee together. You can sit there.
Well, my most important thing that I want to say is that if life feels difficult, there is a problem. Life should feel easy and nice. So sometimes you have to fight really hard for something, but it should feel like something you really want to do. For example, I used to work 14 or 16 hours a day, but to me it felt like everything, the only thing I wanted to do was work. So it felt easy to me and I would never complain. But the second it started being very difficult and I was like, oh, I can't work another hour, I'm exhausted. I had to find solutions to, organize my life so I would do something that's easier. So I'm very into making life easy, making your life easy. I try to not drink too much coffee because it gets me very nervous in the afternoon. So I only drink it in the morning. What's important is for me to stay inspired. That's what gives me energy. It's not always the same thing. I think what's important is to be aligned. The thing that did inspire me 5 years ago are not the same thing that inspire me today. So it's always kind of looking at, because else you just do the same thing if you always look for the same sources of inspiration. So for example, I just moved to LA and for me, a new life is a great way to find, new sources of inspiration and all that. And also adapting to who I am as I'm growing, And so I think that's how I stay inspired, checking in with myself and see what makes me vibe. So finding the right vibe, the right energy is what keeps me inspired. It can be like a new move into a new city, meeting new people. It can be looking back at old books that I haven't read for a while. It can be anything as long as you feel that vibration. Right now, I'm actually reading a book that I love reading self-help books because I'm always looking for ways to be better at life. And I'm reading a book about exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's like how to live a life that's not lived in effort. It's called The Sweet Spot. And I find a lot of great advice in there. One of them, for someone like me who always loves to have new ideas and new projects, one of them is to have 5 main goals in your year and just focus on these and stop trying to do everything. And, your main goal can be, I'm going to take care of myself, and then it can be like, I'm going to open a company or like, I'm just going to and then you just spend 90% of your time doing 5 of these. It's a great way to be more effective. I miss my family, the first thing. I miss the feel of the Mediterranean, the quiet sea and the little creeks and all that. That's something I really miss. I miss the food. I love Mediterranean food, Greek or like Corsican, where I come from, south of France, all that. I really miss that. I miss the southern French sense of humor. People from Marseille, where I lived for 10 years, are probably the funniest people. Corsicans are hilarious. And I miss that. It's really difficult to find the same sense of humor. I love American humor, but it's a totally different set of things. And I miss that. New York is like an amusement park. It's like Disneyland. It's like there's so much to see everywhere, so many things to buy, so many new restaurants to try. And that's the good part. And so you're like, oh, that's cool. I want to do this. I want to go there. But then there's also the noise and the exhaustion and all that. The fact that everybody's running everywhere. And I took the train yesterday and it was 5 million people. And I was thinking, wow, I think in LA, I get to see that many people in like 2 weeks, And so, I don't miss it on an everyday basis, but I'm very happy that my job connects me to it. I come very often. So I think I still need a bit of New York in my life. LA is it has a little bit of perfection because it's, there is the sea. So for me, I was born next to the sea. So I really miss that feeling. You have nature, so much nature around. And at the same time, there is everything you need in a city. So it's close to perfect, except it's way too big and you spend too much time in traffic. And if you have a friend who doesn't live in the same neighborhood as you might as well never see them. It's this, I think I see my friends who live in New York more often than I see my friends who live in another part of town in LA.